Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California on a Words and Wisdom Wednesday with quotes about Donald J. Trump. We want to know what he thinks like. We want to know from this perspective what people say about him, some of the things he himself has said, and why he is who he is. I went to Brainy Quote about him, and here we are. Daryl Davis, Daryl Davis, says, I did not vote for Donald Trump, and I do not support him, but I believe that Trump is the best thing to happen to this country in a long time. He's bringing out the country's ugliness. There's no turning a blind eye anymore. Ah. Mike Pence said, Donald Trump is a good man, and he will make a great president of the United States of America. Now, recall, Mike Pence had to run for his life because Donald Trump sent guys to try to hang Mike Pence on a scaffold. And that was scary. So right now, Mike Pence is not his running mate, his former vice president. Cornell West says, neo-fascism in the United States takes the form of big money, big banks, big corporations, tied to xenophobic scapegoating of the vulnerable, like Mexicans and Muslims and women and black folk, and militaristic policies abroad with strongman, charismatic, autocratic personality. And that's what Donald Trump is. Good morning, John Clark. How are you doing? And Rick Santelli says, I said from day one, when Donald Trump gets in there, he's going to make an equal number of Republicans unhappy as Democrats unhappy. Ooh, ooh. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, I can't imagine what this place would be. I can't imagine what the country would be with Donald Trump as our president. Ooh. Okay. William F. Daley, Daley, said, now that Donald Trump has won the presidency despite losing the popular vote, there's a growing cry to rethink or even abolish the Electoral College. This would be a mistake. I will say something about the Electoral College. The Electoral College is a group of people that toss in or cast their votes based on what their districts voted. And what they do is they have to go by what their people say. And so what happens is that the Electoral College is the number of electorates in every state. I don't remember if it's the same or different, but I think it's based on population. And with the number of people in their state that cast their vote, let's say my group is more Republican than Democratic, then I have to put my vote in for Republicans. Even though, let's say over there, the Democrats win versus the Republicans, and somebody else has to cast their vote for Democrats. But in fact, if you added it up together, the Democrats far outnumber the Republicans, putting the two regions together. So the electoral college actually is a way to make the democracy indirect. It's like a tree. You don't get the you don't it's like the rain coming into the leaves of a tree and coming down, trickling down to the roots. It's different than actual numbers of people voting. So anyway, let me go back to another quote. Booker T said, I actually met Donald Trump and shook his hand and looked him in the eye. And it tells me a lot when you look a person in the eye. He's a man's man, first and foremost. You know, you can't pretty much, you know, put him to the side and expect anything less than a good fight. Hmm, that's the way he said it. Um, John McAfee says Donald Trump is proud of the fact that he's never written an email. I don't know if that's true anymore, but at the time of this quote from Brainy Quote, that was what it said. Andy Mineo, Mineo, said, being a Christian and seeing that white evangelical Christians were primarily the people who put guys like Donald Trump into office made my entire world explode. Jim Harbaugh says, the thing I like about Donald Trump is he's not afraid to fight the establishment. Jim Jeffries says, for me, Mr. T and Donald Trump are the same sort of phenomenon. They're guys with catchphrases and wacky hair. Bobby Knight said, we need a Donald Trump more than we've ever needed anybody since George Washington. Ron Stallworth says, when you hear Donald Trump say, America first, that was a Klan slogan from the early 1900s. Trump simply resurrected it. It's a clear example of his racist attitude. Ooh, that's interesting. Donna Brazil, Brazile, says, I denounce Donald Trump for not denouncing the kind of vitriol, the kind of violence that he has perpetrated with his angry rhetoric. And he knows exactly what he is doing. Two more. Dan Coates, C-O-A-T-S. Sometimes people spell their last names K-O-H-T-Z, and it's still pronounced Coates, and some people put C-O-A-T-E-S. Anyway, this one is C-O-A-T-S. Dan Coates says, I'm having a hard time understanding Donald Trump because he says one thing one day, then corrects it the next day. I think that's true. He doesn't say the same thing twice. Shiva Ayyadurai, Ayyadurai, says, the hatred and vitriol against Donald Trump has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with the fact that the academic priesthood lost control of what they call, quote unquote, ordinary rednecks, that they're stupid. They don't understand. The fact is, those people actually understand a lot. I'm going to read that one again because the light went out a bit. The hatred and the vitriol against Donald Trump has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with the fact that the academic priesthood lost control of what they call, quote unquote, ordinary rednecks. That they're stupid. They don't understand. The fact is, those people understand actually quite a lot. Okay, so I actually read it a little bit wrong. Those people actually understand a lot. That's what it says. Well, Mike Pence, one more from Mike Pence. Donald Trump gets it. He's the genuine article. He's a doer in a game usually reserved for talkers. And when Donald Trump does his talking, he doesn't tiptoe around the 1,000 new rules of political correctness. Now, this is quotes about Donald Trump, and I kind of wanted to do quotes from Donald Trump as well, because that way we get a picture of him as a person. Okay, Donald Trump quotes. Oh, verifying you are human. This may take a few seconds. I'm not sure I want to do that. I mean, this is kind of a waste of time to get to it because if he said anything really good, people took it. But look at what he does. Look at what he did. Don't just look at what a man says. Look at what he does. He called me something that I didn't like. And I didn't like it because he put my life in danger. Just first thing he could do in his first term. So I personally can't stand him because that's the way my life went. I could have been hit, killed, or worse. Uh, there aren't very many things worse than being killed, but it was dangerous for me to walk down the street, and that is real vitriol. The thing about him calling people vermin, he wasn't even referring to, uh, he wasn't even trying to be racist. He was actually trying to say vermin were the people that were against him. Vermin means like animals that we don't want and subhuman things. And so here, that you've got my opinion of Donald Trump. You've already got my opinion, and I'm sorry if I can't be more um, amicable about him. Uh, but that's just the way it is. If somebody threatens my life, I'm not going to be too friendly with them. So understand me that way. The other quotes about Donald Trump have basically said that he is very powerful and he is quite knowledgeable. And as a matter of fact, he knows enough to be pretty dangerous. That's the assessment I can make, me personally, because he's already made things physically dangerous in my life. Um, there were people getting stabbed and shot and molested by because not just of you know not just not just of my race, but just people who aren't white and Christian, and I don't even think he likes women. He said things about women that were pretty bad with bad words, really bad words. So I don't know why. Um, I don't know how come, but in this country, we've got a lot of problems now because education has been defunded a lot, not just by him, not just by him, but the power it's all about power. It's not about here I want you to know that I don't like you because you're yellow or anything. And it's not really about that. It's about power. It's about who has the money, who has the power, the one percenter of the one percenters. Those are the ones with the power that want to make it so that we work and we pay taxes, and we being the middle class or the not upper class or not even upper middle class, but people who make $165,000 or less a year. I think it's 160,000 or I don't remember what, but some number like that. And so the taxpayers are paying all their money, and the ones that are extremely rich don't pay more than that. So they're getting a free ride almost. They're paying their maximum tax, but they're getting a pretty free ride from the rest of us. So we've got to be careful because, as a matter of fact, he uh, there's a really bad word, fascism, and that bad word is something that has actually appeared. But what happened was somebody started using, like when we say the F word a lot now, we don't realize what it really means anymore. It sounds like it has less meaning, but when somebody's actually doing that F act, it's a bad thing, very, very bad thing. Whereas the word fascism, they started bringing it up, especially Donald Trump's crowd started bringing it up and using it so much that we started thinking, oh, it's not a big deal. But as a matter of fact, that is what he's trying to do, is he's trying to bring in some fascism by creating a kingship. He wants to um, tell people, you only have to vote once. What does that mean? That means he plans to do the insurrection shit again. Pardon my French. Pardon my French. I meant to do it without using a bad word. But anyway, I want to say that I personally am very much afraid for our democracy. It's no longer, it's like even what's her name? Cheney, is voting not for Trump. But what we have to do is get somebody in office who will help to restabilize the Republican Party to what it was. Whereas it's right now, it's trying to dehumanize people, some people. It's trying to keep people in power, but dehumanize the rest of us. And we want to make sure that we can get somebody in office, keep the current radicalists out to the point that the fascism doesn't come up, And we're in big trouble, dear. We're in big trouble. That's what I feel. Anyway, so Words and Wisdom Wednesday, one of the things I'd like to do for my program is to um, make it so that somebody can turn it into a program. I would like to turn it into something professionally because morsels of a thought are intended to be wisdom. Sorry. Esri, is that you? Chloe, come here. Chloe, Fatima, Fatima. Oh, I see Esri. That wasn't Esri. I think it was Chloe chasing Dea. Fatima. Anyway, so my point is that in my program, I want to bring morsels of a thought of wisdom of other people into the world, bring what is the right thing to do as wisdom into our day, and then give us the chance to create virtue. Give us the chance to do the right thing that day. Something that you know that scares you, actually. JJVR, VILLAR, said it the other day in a video I watched of him. He's a dancer for Michael Jackson. He didn't teach Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was his idol. And he said, do something that scares you every day. Something of virtue is what I think he means, but something that scares you every day. And that's how you expand your spirit and grow. And do it in the right way. Knowing the right thing to do is wisdom. So my inspiration is to bring people and get you to have a great day with some kind of food for thought, morsels of a thought. And morsels means it's tasty. Nibbles are anyway, but morsels are meant to be tasty. And so morsels of a thought are meant to be good thoughts of other people's wisdom. And we can live in a virtuous way. We can live very cheaply on the wisdom of others, on the wings of others who have come before us. There are millions of saints and sages and people who have done good, millions of people, billions of people who have done good things, and we can get their quotes. We can get many of their quotes, and we can know which ones are good and which ones are not, and we can decide how to do the right thing for ourselves in a day. So morsels of a thought, I hope to bring you some inspiration to have a great day, and hopefully sometime I can get some kind of a sponsor who can help me turn this a little bit more professional. My webcam did not show up yesterday. Come to think of it, I meant to get a webcam yesterday. It was supposed to arrive, and it hasn't yet, but I'm trying to improve the sound, and then I'm going to try to improve the video quality. The current equipment I use is kind of on its last leg. I mean, the camera recording equipment. So I really meant to get quotes from Donald Trump too, but the computer went down. My other phone went down. So, okay. So I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Okay? Old Kinderhack.